believing in Jesus Christ has absolutely changed my life. I didn't do it just for the benefits, but it's certainly provided an innumerable amount of benefits in my life that would be too much to even go into detail, but certainly one of which is this, is that I have a sense of overarching purpose and peace no matter what's going on in the world around me. And what I mean is not that God changed everything and made everything better or took away all my problems and my pain, but what I mean is that he gave me the sense in the midst of difficulty that it was going to be okay, a sense of understanding that his sovereignty is enough and that he's with me through it all. In other words, he became an anchor to me that is bigger than my feelings. And I realized before coming to Christ that I was so driven, even as a man, by my emotions and my feelings, that they dictated how I perceived the world. And now I have something bigger than my feelings that I can trust. I think this is illustrated really, really well, and what I can only call a Key and Peele moment by the president of FIFA, who came out, I think, kind of addressing the controversy with the U.S. men's team and them wanting to change their flag to the pride flag on their uniforms, and talking about, kind of being queer affirming this year and all of that stuff, and it being in Qatar and there being kind of some controversy there. The FIFA president decided to come out and be a thought leader for the rest of the world, to try to defend the flag and defend homosexual rights, and did so in the silliest way. So here's him doing that.
Today I feel Qatari. Today I feel Arab. Today I feel African. Today I feel gay. Today I feel disabled. Today I feel a migrant worker.
So this is the way the guy wants to defend homosexual rights. He says that he feels disabled and he feels gay and he feels African. Now, I'm pretty sure he's not from Africa. So quick question. How does it feel to feel African exactly? I don't know that we'll ever get an answer to this, because what he just espouses is the most ridiculous, inane thing you've ever seen in your life. And in fact, it could be parodied, and could be parodied by our friends Key and Peele in a segment like this.
All them preteen children out there, listen to my voice. You are immortal. Okay, well, obviously we understand that Charlie is super excited right now, and that no one is actually immortal. No.
Now, for those of you who are just listening and not watching, you can always go to YouTube and subscribe where you can watch the show. But what we just saw there is a basketball player who's elated and excited about winning championship or whatever, and he's being interviewed by a reporter, and he goes off the handle saying all of these crazy emotional things about how he feels and about how kids can do whatever they want based upon feelings. So ironically, the FIFA president didn't realize that he was leaning into the critique that people like me make about the LGBTQ movement, that this idea that you are your feelings. See, for the longest time, we've known that, of course, you are not your feelings, that you can feel upset and depressed, but you don't have to be your feelings. You can feel like you're dumb and that you're not good enough, but those feelings don't have to embody who you actually are. And see, this is where God comes into play. Without God, we have the tendency to deify our feelings, to make our feelings God, and to dictate to us reality when God himself is the only person who can sit in that throne. Our feelings shouldn't dictate reality to us, because feelings are just feelings at the end of the day. But in the absence of God, we look for things that are unseen to believe in. We look for something spiritual, in other words, because I've talked about it on the show before. We try to suppress the religious impulse inside of the human heart. And there are atheists today who try to blame all of the things that are happening in society either on Christianity or religion writ large, or on secularism, but say, hey, if we just lived in this beautiful society without God, we wouldn't have wars, we wouldn't have hell, we wouldn't have heaven, we wouldn't have anything. Atheism is the answer. But the problem with that is that there has been no atheistic society to ever exist on the planet. So it's complete conjecture. Now, you may say, well, we should still try it, Reed, but the problem with developing a society writ large based upon the idea of atheism is that I think we will find that we will turn something into God. And we're seeing it now as we move further and further away from Christianity. We'll turn our feelings into God because we need something unseen to worship. We need something unseen to believe in. And a cheap substitute for that is our emotions. But I'm thankful to God that I believe in something bigger than my emotions. Because right now we're living at a time where at record pace, institutions are disappointing us in the American West. Now, I'm going to be fair here because, I'm not going to just talk about Biden. Let's talk about Trump too. Trump is being investigated right now for taking those files and bringing them to Mar-a-Lago, and he potentially will be indicted by Merrick Garland. And you might say, well, that's just pure partisanship. But and maybe it is, but I also want to fight for the right for Biden to be investigated, and he is right now, for collusion with the FBI and social media companies to suppress the Hunter Biden story. And of course, if he did do this, or anybody in his administration did do this, then it's something that needs to be looked into. The FBI is becoming more and more troubling as of late as they spy upon Trump and as they spy upon other Republicans and try to do things like the Mueller report. And then the latest thing that they've done, which is to suppress the Hunter Biden story in favor of Democrats. It sure seems that this institution is leaning one way. Right now, another investigation into one of our institutions, there's an investigation ongoing to look at a 2014 Supreme Court leak and to look at the recent leak of the Roe v. Wade decision. Where are these leaks coming from? One way or the other, if you don't have something bigger than your emotions or bigger than human institutions to put your hope in, then I would understand the very real feeling of despair that so many in society are feeling today. And I would understand, frankly, unfortunately, the record suicide rates that we have. And hopefully we can turn that around by believing in something bigger than institutions, by believing in something bigger than human things that disappoint us. And I can think of nothing better than God. And placing my faith in him, I have found a rock-solid anchor that though I may talk about these things and though I may fret and worry about what goes on in the world around me, I still have something bigger than all of those things. It makes me want to learn. It makes me want to fix them. It makes me want to address them. But it doesn't make me despair because my hope is in something bigger. And I hope as you celebrate Thanksgiving this year, you have your hope in something bigger as well. So you just got done watching a small excerpt of a much larger episode. You can find the link to that full episode down below in the description of this video. So you definitely need to check that out because if you like that clip, you'll like the much larger episode. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click that little bell to be notified when great new episodes of Indie Thinker come your way. Thanks for watching.